When we talk about trauma, many of us think of a dramatic event like an assault or an altercation. But more and more, trauma is caused by events in our lives, just things that we've all gone through, maybe getting a divorce, getting laid off, a miscarriage, and even living through a pandemic. We're now finding out that the after effects of the pandemic, from depression to insomnia, can go on for years. And Dr. Gregg Jantz, author of Triumph Over Trauma, joins me now. I'm so glad to have you here. Yes.
Yes, I know. From socks to trauma. Here we go.
You know, honestly, this is one of those situations that will prevent you from going on in your life and doing these things, is not being able to get past this trauma.
Let me just say, trauma can be a scary word. We've all gone through traumatic events. You said post-pandemic.
Yeah.
We're seeing anxiety and depression levels the highest we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so people are suffering as you look at, well, what is trauma?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, we could have grown up in a home where there was emotional abuse, or you were compared to a sibling, and you never felt quite good enough. Could have been some dramatic event, a loss of a loved one, loss of a parent. Those all represent trauma. But what we look at is there been a series of traumas that are just, they overwhelm us. And we realize that we've lost our resiliency. We can't seem to bounce back. And the pain of trauma is real. We want to avoid it sometimes.
We do. And you know what I realized the other day? I saw a meme that talked about how during the pandemic, when we would get our groceries delivered to our mail, we would like Lysol them and wear masks.
Yes.
But like, you think back, and it just made me realize how freaking scared we were.
Right.
And so what does post-pandemic trauma look like for not only us adults, but kids too?
Okay, and many have not recovered from this.
No, I feel like I'm still kind of like,
Yeah, because fear goes deep.
Yeah.
And fear causes us to do at times irrational things.
Yeah.
As a way of coping with the fear. So what we're seeing post-pandemic is the fear levels are still quite high.
Yeah.
There's a form of anxiety right now that we're calling anticipatory anxiety.
Yep.
It's like, okay, every day there's something else. Every day.
When is the other shoe gonna drop?
Right, and people are feeling that. Okay, that's part of trauma. That's trauma.
Yeah. And
always being in that hypervigilant state that something's going to happen to me or something bad's going to happen. So we're kind of doom scrolling.
We are.
And we're always on alert because the next traumatic thing is going to happen.
Well, I think a lot of people who had trauma in their lives maybe always tended toward catastrophic thinking.
Right.
But now that we all experience this whole event, I can imagine it's more global. With kids,
yes,
there's like a lot of different aspects coming out, right?
I am so glad you mentioned kids, because kids are affected by this. We have a great number of kids that are behind academically. We see social development that is delayed. So there's real issues for them.
Yeah.
Relationships really changed for kids.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we kind of, in a way, forced them in the social media. That's their life.
Yeah, that was all they had.
That's what they had.
Yeah.
Right. And now we're going, oh, was this such a good thing to do? Yeah. Kids will show trauma in different ways. If I'm a younger child, maybe I show unusual fears. Maybe I have sleep issues. Maybe I don't want to go to school. But we need to just acknowledge this is traumatic for everyone.
Right.
We all have different ways of coping with it.
It's got to be hard. I mean, especially just how we kind of looked at each other at the time, too. It was the first time, I mean, we looked at each other as humans as like, you know, get away from me, I'm scared of you. I mean, it just, there's so many layers.
All the rules changed.
Yeah.
I don't hug you anymore. I certainly don't touch you.
Yeah.
Do we shake hands? I don't know. What are the rules, right? Everything got confusing, which added to the fear.
Gosh. What are some practical ways that we can rewire our brain now to stop being crazy?
Okay, so our brain, over time, if we have repeated traumas, it does alter brain chemistry. Super simple. Our dopamine levels and another chemical called serotonin really can get off. And we may struggle with depression, and it could be a physiological issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say is it all in my mind? No, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Trauma creates chemical changes in the body. So, and we're seeing that.
Yeah.
So there's some things that we can do to help.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's medication, sometimes it's a combination. We know, for example, that self-care and nutrition, getting our sleep cycles back.
Yeah.
Okay, we're seeing more sleep disorders, and I used to work in sleep research, than ever before.
Yep.
Okay, insomnia, waking up at 2 and 3 in the morning, the heart's racing, you're in a sweat. That's the result of trauma.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much that was connected to it.
Yeah.
And also how important it is to just shed the stigmas of taking medication if you need it. You take an antibiotic if you need it. I even the other day thought, you know what, I feel like my serotonin levels are off balance. Maybe it's time to get back on the Wellbutrin.
So we just need to remember there was chemical changes, and there's ways of helping that.
And thank goodness for that.
Yes.
And let's talk about it. Let's talk about your latest book, Triumph Over Trauma, because I think it's coming out at a perfect time.
Well,
What made you write this? I mean, you write so many wonderful books, but you said this is the time I got to get this out here.
It is. I did this all during the pandemic. Because this, I knew we were going to see the highest anxiety, and we are. Anxiety is the #1 diagnosis in our country, followed by depression, and then our addiction rates have skyrocketed. And that's the result, generally, of trauma. And we had a prolonged period of chronic stress. We all had to walk through it. We have all done this together.
We have.
And it's had effects on us. So this, if there's one single issue we have to figure out in order to keep growing, we've got to break through and have triumph over the traumas. We can't stay stuck there.
We can't.
Or we'll stay stuck in depression, we'll stay stuck in anxiety, and it's very real.
It is. We only have about 30 seconds left, and I just have to say, I heard that hope is a common theme throughout this book. Why is it so important to have hope when it comes to healing?
Well, hope comes when we have a plan. So I need a plan. I need all the different ingredients to make me feel better. I need a plan. We feel hopeless and we feel helpless if we don't have a plan. So, and I want to say, because I've seen thousands of folks, there is hope.
Yeah. There is hope, and I'm so grateful. I cannot wait to jump into this. When does the book come out?
Right now.
It's right now. Here it is. It's out right now. Go check it out. Dr. Jantz, thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Good to be with you today.
Oh, it always is so great to talk to you. And of course, we've got much more coming up. We will be